All right, we're back with the 2023 Mr. Olympia coverage, talking about the main guys and some other ones that's not really in the top 10 conversation. But here we have Derek Lunsford now. He's big, he grew. He is far more impressive this year compared to what he was last year. Very similar, if not matching conditioning, but with just more size. Everything is bigger. Side leg, his back is bigger, his upper body, everything is just massive. Very detailed, very conditioned. He's probably the one guy in the entire show with striations in the glutes from the very top to bottom. Probably has the best conditioning in the show, to be fair. This rear double bicep has to be the best rear double bicep in all of bodybuilding today. I mean, nobody even comes close to the thickness in the back. The one knock on Derek has always been, although his glutes are shredded, the lower body can come up in the fact that he's probably a bit short. Now, being short and open doesn't matter because Hadi and Derek were 1 and 2 last year, and they are the shortest guys in the open class. So shortness is not that big of a deal, but Derek has definitely done very well in the offseason. Now, he doesn't really do a full ab and thigh pose here. He does like a vacuum instead of doing the conventional ab and thigh, which based off of the judging criteria, that's fine. But he's massive. He's huge. I mean, I definitely think he's going to be in the top 2 for sure. I mean, no doubt. Still lacking some striations in the chest, but that's his weakness. Now, Samson Dauda, our 2023 Arnold Classic champion, bringing in that trademark shape. His lack has always been conditioning, but I also feel the lighting at the show was not that great, if I'm being honest. You'll notice it with all the guys. I mean, they just kind of look a little washed out. Not too much, but just slightly now. Samson does have just a lot of size. He has done a lot of work over the last 2 or 3 years, putting on size and just packing it on anywhere he can, to be fair. The one area where he does struggle is the back, and it's not because his back is small or underdeveloped. You can see from top to bottom, all the muscles there. Just doesn't have the widest back, but it's a very aesthetic back. Glutes, doesn't have striated glutes, but I don't think it's a deal breaker in terms of should you win or not. I mean, my God, he won the Arnold Classic without striated glutes. I don't think it's a factor in terms of like he's going to not win because he doesn't have lines in his glutes. It's not a glute contest. It's a size, proportion, symmetry, balance, overall conditioning. And he does have all those elements. Now, he's a bigger guy. He's like 6 foot, 6'1", and he's massive. I think he is the heaviest bodybuilder on stage, being about 300 pounds, if not slightly over. I definitely have him in my top 2 as well. Now, moving on to Regan Grimes, who I feel like he made a lot of progress. He made a massive amount of progress, beating Nathan Diasha only a couple weeks ago to earn his ticket to the Olympia. And he's improved. He's definitely improved, and I think this is a way better version of Regan compared to last year for sure. Is he lacking some size? I mean, he's a big guy. He's 5'11", I believe, so quite tall in terms of what we're seeing in the open class here. Pretty good conditioning, but still can use more size in terms of more delt, more chest thickness. And I wouldn't say his legs are small, but he could benefit from bigger legs, I'm being honest. I mean, that's a pretty good Christmas tree. He has also one of the best back doubles in the open class right now. I wouldn't put him above Derek, but definitely a very good back double and a very good lat spread as well. But he's a taller guy, and he just needs to fill out a bit more. He's done a lot of work. He's put on quite a bit of muscle. But in terms of cracking the top 5, I think you're realistically looking for him to fit into the 8, 9, 10 spot. But he's done good. This is probably one of his best packages to date. Now, Andrew Jacked. What can I say about Andrew? Crazy shape, looks incredible, but I think he's looking a little flat. Out of all the guys in lineup, he looks the thinnest. He looks, dare I say, I don't want to say small, but you know, just compare him to the other guys. I mean, their quads are sweeping and wide, and they're just very noticeably big upstairs. He does have great shoulders, great chest, a great midsection, pretty good size arms. I mean, there's no flaws on him at all, if I'm being honest, but I think he just still needs overall muscle. The quads in some poses from the front can look slight, but he does have pretty good quads, pretty good legs. And for a guy that's about 6'2", I think he's 6'2", Very good leg development overall for that height and calves. Gotta say the calves because not a lot of guys at height can develop and showcase a good set of calves. I feel like he rushed through the poses a little bit here. I think he just kind of wanted to get off a stage, and I wish he would have shown a bit more enthusiasm for being up there. But looks like he just kind of hitting the poses and getting off the stage, to be fair. But good package. Now, Hadi Choopan, which is our reigning and defending Mr. Olympia champion from 2022. What can I say? I think he's a bit better condition this year compared to last year. Last year, he played more so the fullness game and not exactly focusing on pure conditioning. I think this is a pretty good balance of being full and slightly better condition. You can see that very apparent quad, hamstring, glute separation, which is very good from the side. His back has definitely come up. As you can see, development all the way from the top to the bottom. Almost reminiscent of what Regan is. Very similar, but I don't think he's on a level of Derek in terms of just pure back thickness. But he does have lower lats. He does have the upper portion of the back, and I think that's the area that he needed to bring up, and he actually did bring it up quite a bit. I have seen him more conditioned than this. He's definitely, kind of in between, I would say, his 2021 and 2022 version. Came in bigger, pretty conditioned. You can see the trademark feathering in the legs, trademark striations in the chest, trademark just very tight midsection. There's no flaws, honestly. It's just who's the better bodybuilder on the day. Hadi's in the top 3. I don't know if I have him winning. In fact, I probably have Derek and Samson over him right now, but this is prejudging, and that can also change from finals. Now, going through seeing some other guys, this is Hunter Labrada, who looks like he'll be in that potential 5-6 slot. I'm honestly not a big fan of his physique. He doesn't look bad. I mean, he's a massive guy with a lot of muscle. Just not a particular fan of his shape. And I can't ever take my eyes off of the pec tear. Now, he does a very good job hiding the pec tear because there's some poses like this one. It looks like he might not be flexing the chest instead of you thinking, well, the chest is torn. So he does a pretty good job, I would say, hiding it. But overall with the physique, I think he's lacking a thicker back. In the front double is just not the best pose in my opinion. The waist doesn't look that good in that pose. And just overall, I'm not sure what he's missing. I mean, he brings in conditioning. He's a big guy, but just not a physique that I take to, if I'm being honest now. Here's Justin Shire, who, this is debut. You're not going to really be too hard on someone for their Olympia debut. He's looking to be more so, I would say, the 12 to 15, the back of the pack. He was actually in the last call out during the live stream. So I don't think he's going to be anywhere close to the top 10. But if he were to place anywhere between 12 to 14, I think that's a pretty good placement for your debut. There's only 17 guys in a lineup. So I don't think he's dead last, but I don't think he's going to be cracking the top 10. And it's just because of more so size. These guys are big, massive, shredded. They all have a back, and they all have very sweepy quads. And these are things that he's missing. I think he has time to bring them up. Like I said, this is first Olympia. And your first one should make you even more hungrier. So he's going to have a lot of time to work on his areas and potentially crack the top 10 next year. So we're going to have to see what's going on there. Lastly, talking about Hassan Mustafa. This guy is just, I don't want to say he's a disappointment, but he has all the tools in the world that should push him in that top 5 slot. And for whatever reason, he just doesn't want to bring in the conditioning. He just can't do it. He did it last year. He looked incredible last year with the 2 shows he won. And he was peeled. He was actually peeled, glutes and all. Lower back was dug out. But this year, he just didn't capture that same conditioning. Quads are very blurry. Midsection is a little thick. This should be a crazy front double for him. I mean, arms are big. He has lats, a ton of muscle everywhere. Quads are wide. They're just missing detail, missing conditioning, missing about a 12 to 15% more sharpness. So, anyways, guys, let me know down what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.